Ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. We back with another episode of Roll the Dice with CC. Now, I will tell you guys this. This will be the last episode of season one. I know. Everybody out there, oh, don't go. Yeah. But hey, season two, y'all gonna want to tune in. But anyway, let's get right into it. So you already know what it is. Championship season. The Under 18 has been hung. It just feels so surreal, man. Like, now I knew at the beginning of the season, I'm like, on paper and the way that I was getting like the vibe from the team and stuff, like I didn't see anybody beating us. And then as the season progressed and we won 54 games and then became the 14th team to win 80 games in a single season with regular season and postseason wins combined. It was like, okay, yeah, like this is one of them teams. But the crazy thing about this is I still feel like we can get even better. Like, neither Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum are 30 years old. And right around that time, or maybe like a year or two before that, is when you really hit your prime. So those two guys are only going to get better. Shout out Jaylen Brown, by the way, winning Finals MVP. Now, people might have sat up here and said, hey, Tatum should have won. But, like, he was shooting like crap all series. He tried a stat pad game 5. But the voters, they didn't really care. Well, some of them did because they still voted him Finals MVP. And he did lead the team in points, rebounds, and assists, which is pretty interesting because he joined a list of 5 other players to do so, but he's the only one who didn't win Finals MVP. So do with that what you will, but I'm not harping too much on that because I still feel like we have a couple more championships to win, and he'll get his time to win Finals MVP for those. But yeah, now the team governor did say that everybody will be brought back next year. So Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Pritchard, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis, all of those guys will be back next year. And we'll see if we can defend our title. And it's pretty interesting because the CBA, the way they had it set up, they said to break up super teams, but literally every champion in the 2020s have been a different team every year. Like, there has been no repeat champions since Golden State did it in 2017, 2018. Because 2020 you had the Lakers, 2021 you had the Bucks, 2022 you had the Warriors, 2023 you had the Nuggets, and then obviously this year it's us. So they essentially did it, but didn't do it at the same time. Now, I don't know what team is going to be the next team to, try and knock us off, but I have high hopes that we can repeat. Now, I'm not saying it's set in stone because obviously in the offseason, a lot of teams get better, but it'll be interesting to see what certain teams try to do to, navigate around this new CBA because you can't keep everybody. But the good thing for us is all of our key pieces are pretty much locked down for at least the next year. So that makes it easy for us. You just got to worry about filling in the back half of the bench and whatnot. But yeah, like moving forward to the series, like shout out to the Mavericks, but for them, this was kind of like a Linsanity run. Like they were able to beat kind of a hobbled Clippers. Luka finally got his revenge on them after that was the one team that kept knocking him out in the playoffs early. And then second round, an inexperienced Thunder who had the coach of the year, but obviously that doesn't really mean much when your guys don't have that level of playoff intensity experience. And then you had the Timberwolves coming off of a gruesome 7-game series with the Nuggets. So they were tired. And then obviously their inexperience in like crunch time. So it's like, okay, the Mavericks did what they had to do, but then you run up into against the juggernaut in the finals and the Celtics, which people were clowning our run like, oh, you didn't play nobody. Everybody you played was injured. Like, we didn't play pretty much the entire playoffs without Porzingis. Like, bro played 3 games and some change, left early game 4, and didn't come back until game 1 of the finals, played game 1, played a good amount of game 2, got injured again, missed games 3 and 4, and then played game 5 in limited capacity. So, like, anybody clowning our run like we weren't 100% healthy either, like, is just ludicrous. But I say all that to say, it was an interesting playoff night. People could say it was boring because pretty much a lot of the series were over quickly, but at the end of the day, bruh, it's still basketball. Like, there were still some entertaining series. I know the Celtics are like the most hated team in hoops, but like, you can't lie and say that there were some decent series out there. I'm not going to get into that now because this is obviously an NBA Finals video. So you watch the games, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who didn't, well, sucks to suck. And but now you can go back and watch my my previous videos. But yeah, shout out Joe Mazzulla. Obviously, he became the youngest head coach since Bill Russell before him. Rest in peace. To win an NBA championship. And he's only going to get better. You know, it's not necessarily wizardry because, like, the breakdown is pretty simple. But the fact that he had the balls to, you know, go out there and be like, yeah, we're going to play Kyrie and Luka one-on-one and not send help because we trust in our guys to, you know, handle their business. Like, people were like, oh, why would you do that? Like, they're going to get fried, yada, yada, yada. But in the end, it didn't really matter because, like he was saying, offense is your best defense. So if you can score, you know that Luka and Kyrie are really the only 2 guys on the Mavericks who can put the ball on the floor and really get their own shot to the level of degree that would actually be able to match you guys. So it's like, hey, we'll live with that every time. And obviously it worked. Now, outside of that one game Kyrie had, he was pretty much quiet all series. He was averaging like 14 points every home game we had. And he's still, you know, trying to, I guess, reconcile with what happened when he was in Boston. But it's really a moot point at this point. Like, bro, we get it. You stink in Boston, bro. There's no other way around it. Like, just let it go, bro. Like, just say we got your number and keep it pushing. But he always try to come up with these think pieces and whatnot, so it is what it is. But, hey, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, after years of suffering, not necessarily suffering, but like years of heartbreak and, you know, defeat, they finally got over the hump. And that's what makes this so much sweeter. Like, the fact that amidst all the turmoil, like guys saying, oh, you should break the Jays up. They don't deserve to be playing with somebody who literally does the same thing as them. Like, and it's crazy because literally as recent as like 2021, literally Jaylen Brown was in trade talks. Like, oh, are they going to move him for KD? But they said, nope, keep the Jays together. And it eventually paid off. And he became the league's highest paid player at $304 million over 5 years. And Jason Tatum will be making $315 million over 5 years. So he'll be the next highest paid player. But it's not going to stop there because obviously others around the league will be making more and more money. So who really cares at this point? Because in a few years, that contract will obviously, past 5 years, it won't be a bargain because he'll need to extend again. But people who are saying that's the worst contract in the league are looking real funny in the light right now because he's a champion and he's a finals MVP. So for all you haters out there, hey, man, what can I say? Matter of fact, what can you say? Because he's a champion now. But yeah, there's really not too much to cover regarding the series. Next year it'll obviously be tough. You know, there were injuries we dealt with our opponents in this postseason run. Obviously, guys next year will be healthier, and there will be teams trying to knock us off. But I still feel pretty good about our chances. So with that being said, as always, take a chance, take a gamble, but as long as you roll the dice, we all good. I'm out. Peace.
It's a surreal feeling. We did it. We did it.